Well, hey everybody, it's that time again. So, welcome back to Class Med students. We are going to talk about the books that I picked up this week. So, let's go ahead and get started on it. All right. First up, we have Ultimate X-Men issue number 11. Peach Momoko has blown my mind by doing 11 straight issues of this book. You know, I always talk about when I am lamenting about the fact that nobody stays on a book for 4, 5, 6 years. 11 issues is not that length of time, but what it is, it sets up consistency. It sets up a chance for people who really do like her artwork and who really do like her story to get invested in these characters. And, you know, I made the comment in the last issue that I was really excited and that I was going to continue on with this title for the foreseeable future. And I hate to do it because I do enjoy it so much and it is such a breath of fresh air compared to everything else. But I think I'm going to give it until issue 12 and then I might drop it. Because as intriguing as the story is, I'm starting to get to the point where I feel it's slow-paced. The artwork is amazing. I cannot say enough good things about this artwork. I can't say good enough things about Peach for being so consistent. As far as I know, there's an ad at the back of this book that talks about issue 13, so that's 2 months from now, and she is still listed as the sole writer and artist on this book. So this is a labor of love for her. This is something that she really feels a certain way about, and we get to meet this character named Cannon in this story. So she provides an antagonist for Armor, and she notices that Armor's mutant powers are more defensive, and she says, I like offense. So yeah, see, there's the ad for Ultimate X-Men issue 13, and it says year 2 starts here. So, I don't know. I may keep going with it. I really do enjoy the fact that it is so different. That's what I like. It's not that the X-Men are terrible characters, but sometimes you need to step outside the box and reinvent the wheel in order to create a compelling set of characters within this story. And that's how I feel these characters are. They're not just set pieces. They have their own lives. They have life breathed into them from Peach Momoko. So if you haven't been reading Ultimate X-Men, I wouldn't say start with this issue, but I would say start with issue 1 in the first trade paperback. And if you like anime books, or if you like that style of artwork, or if you've seen anything that Peach has done before and you really, really liked it, then I would say scoop that up and take you a couple of hours to sit there and read it and pore over it and enjoy it. In the meantime, this book was a little slow, this particular issue, but I'm hoping that issue 12 completely reins me back in and I'm here for year 2. All right, next up we have Mark Spears' Monsters, issue 3. I have heard that issue 1 is a monster on the background, on the back issue sales, because I think it was a sleeper. Mark's been doing covers for Spawn, been doing covers for a lot of different characters and a lot of different books, but I think people are still sleeping on exactly how good of an artist he is. And you get an idea when you look inside here, and his is more of a digital approach with models and things like that, instead of straight pencil ink turned into painting like Alex Ross is, but it still has that same level of detail and still gives you great, facial features and gives you great storytelling with very simplistic, one shot, very simplistic style and composition, but at the same time, you get all of these characters that look so real. And as I was reading this, I couldn't help but kind of compare it to Strange Haven that I talked about earlier last year by Gary Spencer Millage. The artwork in that book continued to grow, as did Gary Spencer Millage as an artist, until you got some very similar style in that book to what you're seeing here in Monsters. It was not realistic. It was not photorealistic. It was not looking at a picture like Norman Rockwell stuff, but at the same time, it brings to life these characters that aren't real. It makes you care about these characters. It makes you care about Slayer. It makes you care about these kids here who are playing in this arcade. You've got the mysterious men here talking. And it's just, it's cool to see how real everything does look. Even though, like I said before, it's not necessarily a photorealism. I mean, just look at this right here. This is really cool. You've got, I took this and it didn't, I don't feel right. And then look at his face. He's something doesn't feel right here. And then his eyes open and he's not himself. So if you're sleeping on Monsters, I would say try to go back and pick up the first issue or two if you can find them for a decent price on eBay or on the secondary market. And then definitely pick up Monsters starting with issue 3. All right. And last real book that we're going to talk about today, it was kind of a short week for me, is Dust to Dust, issue 2 by J.G. Jones and Phil Bram. And we have the continuation of this story of the Dust Bowl and how characters are surviving and trying to thrive, trying to live in the time of this Dust Bowl that just takes over everything that is going on in their lives. You have people in certain areas of the world that are controlled by monsoon weather. They're controlled by drought. They're controlled by many environmental factors that are beyond their physical capability to control as a human being. As we all know, there are no mutants. There is no storm. There is no, characters like that. No miracle man that can come down out of the sky and bring rain to people who are in a drought. There's none of that in real life. And so there's none of that in this book. Superman is not going to drop out of the sky with a bucket of water or a, canopy filled with rainwater to try to fight these Dust Bowl storms, which were absolutely terrible from what I have been told and what I've read back in those times. That Dust Bowl area, it was hard to get a job, and it was even harder to keep a job because the dust storms and the level of catastrophe that they brought with them would sometimes take a brand new company that had just gotten started and then come and wipe it out. Destroy everything that you had built, everything you would have worked for. And the artwork, I will still say that the artwork by J.G. Jones looks amazing, but I'll also say it's kind of whitewashed. It's kind of washed out. And I get why he did that, but it makes it extremely bright on the page. And it makes it, sometimes you lose details because it's almost like looking at white. It's almost a whiteout type of scenario where you see the shading on these characters, but at the same time, you get other panels where you just can't even see what's going on. And again, I get that. That's what he's trying to convey is through his artwork and through Phil Bram's co-writing, you get this sensation that this world could dissipate at any moment. All of these characters that you've come to know and love, like Sarah, and now you've met the Doc, and then you see the sheriff right here. All of these characters that you've come to have an appreciation for, It's kind of like The Walking Dead, where they could be there one moment and then they walk outside at the wrong moment. A dust storm takes them and you never see them again. They get, wiped clean, and the next thing you see is you see the sheriff, and then you see bones, and a skeleton falling down. But it's got an intriguing premise, and the sheriff and Sarah, who is an out-of-town photographer who is trying to make her way, they're going to head to check on this family that was leaving in the first issue because they had a mule with them, and they were going to take the mule somewhere and drop it off and then continue on, but the sheriff is concerned that they weren't able to get out of town very quickly because of the damage, that was going to be caused, and because of the mule slowing them down. This is a really great book, and it's something different than anything else that's out on the shelves right now. So if you enjoy history, if you enjoy reading about the Dust Bowl era, if you want to learn how other people lived back during much harder times, this is the book that you need to be picking up. And I can't think of a stronger recommendation for J.G. Jones as an artist, because he captures almost the helplessness and hopelessness that comes along with this time frame and with this way of living and where they live. You root for these characters, but at the same time you realize that there's not a whole lot of hope to go along with these characters. So you might be rooting for the wrong team and the losing team every single time. And to me, that's both interesting and a little bit nihilistic and self-destructive, but it makes you want to come back each issue to see if these characters that you are starting to get to know have survived. All right, and I've got two short little blurbs I'm going to give. I picked up The Seasons issue 1 by Rick Remender with art by Paul Azaceta. And this tells the story of the 4 Seasons sisters and their search for their mom and dad. And that's all that I'm going to say in this particular moment, because I'm going to save that for the initial assessment video that I'm going to do here shortly and post, after I post this first video. But the artwork is amazing, and the story just brings you back for more. So let's talk about that one in the next video. And the last one is Silverhawks, which is a reimagining of one of the 80s properties by Dynamite. And you've got Ed Brisson, and I believe George Combadias is the artist on this title. And we will talk more about that in an upcoming video as well. That'll also be covered in that initial assessment video. So guys, a couple of books that I haven't picked up quite yet. I forgot that Black Cloak was coming out this week, as well as Green Lantern issue 19. So I will be covering those books in subsequent videos. And I don't know if it came out this week or if it was a fake out, but I somehow missed Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Last Ronin Re-Evolution issue 3 when it came out. And issue 4 was supposed to come this week, but I didn't see it at the shop. So if it came out and you saw it at your shop, let me know in the comments below, and then I will go back and harass my guys and see if they can reorder it or order it, or if it even came in. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Take care. We'll see you later.